What's good? I'm Brilliance Proper, and I'm not doing album reviews, but I am doing a series. Three things. First, I'm trying out this new setup while recording videos. We'll see what works. Second, sorry to disappoint some people, but I'm not doing album reviews. I won't say never because never is a promise and I can't afford to lie. However, doing them for my own sake isn't as interesting for what I want to be known for. In this day and age, album reviews need to have a quick turnaround time. You have to catch up to the algorithm and a recent drop, and people want to know the ratings for an album or have an accurate review for content sometimes before the runtime of the album is even up. And there's no way an album drops at midnight on a streaming service. You spin it one time, sometimes not even finishing full tracks, and having a good grip on what that album means. Not sorry, but I don't respect that in the slightest. An album will drop as a surprise to everyone, and yet different sites will have a full review up like they've been sitting with it for a week. And to me, that shows a lack of respect for the craft of making music. Artists spend days, weeks, months, and sometimes years making music for people to just consume it like an afternoon snack, when we used to grab magazines that had reviews that had to be written at least a month or further back in advance to get out around the time the album dropped. When print media was in its prime, artists would send out copies for review, sometimes months before it came out, in order for the reviewers to sit with the work and have time to analyze everything from the sounds, song structure, lyrics, and even production and liner notes. That review then went through editing before it was sent out into the world, and while not every review was a home run or even accurate, there was still a certain level of integrity that went into that process. Now reviews are just up for content, a word I hate more and more as social media continues. And the thing is, I used to do reviews. I wrote my first ones back in high school for a school paper in the 90s. I had them on MySpace, Tumblr, Blogspot, and while some felt good to write, I don't think I can stand on a lot of my initial reactions to music from then, which is the real reason I don't do them. That, and I'm not impartial when it comes to music, and for the most part I think that's pretty evident for people who know me in real life. Like, a few people asked me to review the new Drake and Party Next Door album, and that was never going to happen because as a day one Drake hater, I hate even Drake's best work. Same with Nicki Minaj. Tearing down their albums doesn't make me feel better, especially when I'm not the target audience. I'm not a hater for haters' sake, and I don't hate consume. Hate watching is one of the weirdest ways to spend your time because you're admitting that you don't like something, but you give it your attention. I don't hate listen to things because I'd rather spend my time on things that I enjoy. Otherwise, it makes me feel sick mentally, and I'm a naturally jovial person. I'm not saying that I enjoy 100% of the material from artists I do like, but I'm not going for things that don't move me. Flies like eating shit. I'm a human who prefers real food. So, no offense for all those that do reviews, I don't knock it, but for me personally, I like the stories around the creation of the music as well as its impact, and that's what I'm all about. I may not like a Drake album, but I cannot deny the impact it had, and I have to be honest about that when telling the stories that I find interesting. I still have to hear things I'm not fond of, but in doing so, I get a better understanding of why it resonates in the way it does. Like, Hotline Bling isn't a good song to me, but the story of Hotline Bling, Drum and his song Cha Cha and the ensuing drama that came from it are much more interesting because there are definite answers to a lot of what surrounded it without having to make a judgment on something so subjective as how this music sounds. And that's where I find my sweet spot. Analyzing the cultural impact of music, culture, politics, race, etc., and what it meant in the moment, the present, and possibly the future. And these are the things I love writing and storytelling about, and I love all that when it comes to journalism and everything that I plan to do with this and in all of my platforms. I do like, though, when it comes to music recommendations, is Elsie's approach. She doesn't truly do a lot of music reviews in the traditional sense, but she talks a lot about music and how it makes her feel. She talks about the composition of songs, the songwriting, what makes things good, and I don't think I've really heard her say that this album is trash or anything of that sort, because as a lover of good music, she just wants to put people on to what she finds entertaining, the things that move her. Even if she doesn't like something, she has valid critiques within her personal opinion, and I respect what she does on every level. I can see myself doing that more than I can just straight up reviews. Elsie will be able to look back in 10 years on how these songs made her feel in those moments that she made the videos, and that will stand up to scrutiny. Pitchfork will always have to deal with. Pitchfork needs to answer for their crimes. Anyway, third on my list is something I'm truly excited about, and that's a series I'm working on based on a question I answered on Blue Sky. The question boiled down to, if someone told you to give a 1-hour impromptu speech for any topic for $10 million, what would the speech be about? And my answer was why rap music is the most intelligent and diverse music genre, and hip-hop is the most impactful culture for a reason. And you know what? I could do way longer than 1 hour on a video like that. So I am. I'm going to do a series on this very subject, not just one single hour-long video, but multiple parts that will equate to more than that amount of time on that very subject. I want to challenge myself on something that's honestly going to be easy for me to discuss, but I want people to take rap and hip-hop culture as seriously as it deserves to be. That means pulling out everything to back up that statement and even getting into some negative aspects of hip-hop that some probably aren't willing to discuss, but I'm ready. So if you're watching before the next episodes drop, stay tuned for more. And if you're in the future watching this and the other ones are out, I hope you enjoy every part and learn something from it all. With that said, hit me up on Blue Sky and brillianceproper.com, as well as on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads at brillianceproper. And until next time, peace to hip hop, peace to you and yours, and I'll see you on the next one.